Like, so if you seeking a reverent Novus Ordo undermines the validity of the Eucharist at the tambourine mass. Stop trying to make the liturgy about aesthetics. It's the same Jesus. Also, if your local parish does not offer a reverent Novus Ordo mass, you should not drive longer distances to attend a reverent Novus Ordo mass. Like, this is exactly what we were just talking about, right? It's like, if you're not going to your parish that you are supposed to go to, I don't want to hear anything. You are doing the same thing.
True if you're going to a canonically different church.
I was just going to say, you're doing the same thing that Matt and Alex are doing at that point, going to a different rite to escape the Novus. All of us are trying to escape the damn Novus Ordo. Everyone, even the most diehard Novus Ordoists, you're all trying to escape it. Stop pretending you're not. Like, it's not. This isn't about the people that go to the Novus Ordo. Like, it is not anybody's fault that the bishops put this liturgy on us. It's just what it is.
I'm starting to think, though, that it is at some point people like Voice of Reason, Matt Fradd, and others are going to have to start to take actual accountability. The fact that they're allowing it to continue, they're enabling it
by defending it, like by defending it. But what was that guy really mad about the other day? Remember that one guy, Jason was pissed about
the confessions.
What was it that I said that pissed him off?
That 90% of those in the Novus Ordo
that's right. Yeah. So it was with Trent's video, right? So Trent was saying Trad's dirty little secret is that they're constantly confessing this sin. I said, if that's Trad's dirty little secret, then the Novus Ordo's dirty little secret is 99% of people at the Novus Ordo aren't even going to confession.
Yeah.
Like, they just aren't going. And I'm not saying faithful Catholics that go to the Novus Ordo don't go to confession. Of course you do. You guys are faithful Catholics. You're I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about your average person at the Novus Ordo isn't going to confession. The church pews are packed every Sunday with people that go to church for heaven insurance, or they go because they're nominally Catholic and they just don't know the faith that well, and they're not even going to confession at all. So the fact that trads are confessing this sin means that trads take mortal sin seriously, and they're doing what they can to get it out of their lives.
As someone who went to the Novus Ordo 99% of my life, right? You don't have anyone stay behind in the pews. No one. So like one of my uncles.
Occasionally you'll see somebody, because you'll
always
have
and you know what?
It's not like
everyone looks at them like, why are you staying behind? What, did you murder someone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
you go to TLM, 1/4 to 1/3 of the people
won't get up and receive.
And you know what? No one cares.
Nobody cares.
No one cares.
It's like so that guy got so mad. He's like, you have absolutely no proof of this. You're just denigrating the Novus Ordo because you think you're better than us. It's like, no, I'm not. That is absolutely not at all what I was saying. My point is that there's horrible catechesis in your average Novus Ordo parish, and most of the people that do go to the Latin Mass most of the people that go to the Latin Mass are people who were at the Novus Ordo, took their faith seriously, and were like, I would rather go somewhere reverent. So then they ended up at a Latin Mass. Now, when you go to that Latin Mass, there's a concentration of those people who took their faith seriously. Mm-hmm. So they're all like, you have a concentration of faithful Catholics at a Latin Mass. Now, this probably wasn't like this before the council, because before the council,
I'm sure.
But in this modern era, what you have at the Latin Mass is a high concentration of faithful Catholics trying to take their faith seriously. So yes, the confession lines are always long. And yes, there's going to be 1/3 of the people not getting up to receive. And when you compare the stats, in the Novus Ordo, you have 70% of the people that go don't believe in the real presence, 80% support artificial birth control, 80% support abortion for certain reasons. You have no difference in the Novus Ordo than you do in secular society, because most people are going for a social club. But when you go to the Latin Mass, because you have that concentration of people who take their faith seriously, those numbers are 99% think artificial birth control is wrong, 99% believe the Eucharist is valid. You wonder who the 1% is in every one of those surveys. Sometimes I think they just do it for like for error, allow for error. And
it's statistical error that is causing that 1%.
Yeah. Look, I got a little riled up tonight. I don't, and only 14% are even going to Mass. Yeah. So, but I'm talking about the 14% that do go to Mass.
It's something like only 25% of those 14% go to confession once per year.
It's crazy. It's crazy. You go to the Latin Mass, and most of the people there are trying to go once a month. Like
At least,
I go either every 2 weeks or once a month at minimum. Like minimum. And I take my kids once a month because I want them in the habit of it so that when they move out and they get to, like, I want them always in the habit. The longer you go without confession, the less you want to go. Like it's like you don't want to go to confession the longer you push it off. So just stay in the habit of going. And any chance you get to go, you go. Angry Anthony is the best Anthony.
It's
Shut up, Grover. I'm gonna smack you.
It's frustrating because the last 3, 4, 5 weeks or whatever, at Mass, reading through the missal, part of the reading will stick out to me, and it's usually something like being more charitable, watching what you say stuff. So I'll get real serious about that, especially online. Then I'll see something like this, or someone, just attacking trads, and it just pisses me off.
It's just, look, here's what I'm going to say to the people who go to the Novus Ordo and think the trads are uncharitable. Trads are just faithful Catholics who go to the Latin Mass and they experience something there that they always, so like we're all taught that the Mass is heaven meets earth, and you're actually going and you're worshiping Christ truly present in the Eucharist, and that angels and the saints are around us, and this earthly worship is meant to resemble the heavenly worship. And when you go to the Latin Mass, you kind of see like that's actually what you get. So like the thing you were catechized to believe.
Whoa, hold on. Does that guy not have kids?
Yeah, I don't think he does.
Then he just needs to shut up.
Yeah.
He doesn't get to talk. I'm serious.
So being new to Catholicism, I enjoy my imperfect Novus Ordo for what it is, but I've been reading about what proper liturgy and worship are, and I wish there was a closer TL. That's it. It's like, but dude, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
That's what you have. Like nobody's criticizing you because you go to the Novus Ordo. And it's funny because I really love someone like him who goes to the Novus Ordo and doesn't take offense to when we talk about this stuff, because it's like, I'm not criticizing the people that go. It is like, it's not your fault. How the hell are you responsible that the bishops put this thing in play, put it in place, and that they're doing this crazy stuff in the liturgy? Me and Rob went down to North Carolina, and there was a really good bishop that came down there and celebrated Mass, like a really faithful African bishop.
Now, I will say that bishop had to be the one to do it, and it wasn't his diocese, because the bishop that was over that diocese of Charlotte was instead
Bishop
at a female-led Laudato Si.
Look, yeah, it was a lot. Yes, and that's Bishop Martin's, who's tried canceling the Latin Mass in Charlotte.
Yes.
So the neighboring diocese bishop came over, and he was a really good bishop, and the guy was a faithful Catholic.
And Anthony berated him until he heard Anthony's confession as he was literally trying to leave. He was trying to get in his car. Anthony goes over and says, "I'm the guy that you got all those nasty emails about. Will you hear my confession?"
It's actually what happened.
And it worked.
I'm like, look, I'm the guy that all the emails were sent about, that I'm a misogynist and an anti-Semite and all this stuff. People that call trads uncharitable are cheering on Alex, cheering on Alex, or call for Marshall to be excommunicated. You want to take the Eucharist from someone, you don't get to call anyone uncharitable.
Yeah.
Very good.